Hello, friends. How are you all? Hope you are doing great at various aspects of your lives. Welcome to another book review podcast by Team ThinkerViews. The perks of being a book lover includes exposure to many virtual worlds. Some of them are so alive and beautiful that you may want to stay there despite the challenges. And yes, we got chances to meet some remarkable and imaginative wordsmiths in our journey. Recently, we came across an interesting book, The Protectors of Kavaach, Book 1 of Kavaach Trilogy by Pranay Bhalerao. Now, you might be thinking that why I spell it as Kavaach instead of Kavach. Well, it is simply to reflect the spelling of the word. While this is his first book, he is so confident that in the title itself he mentioned that it is the first of a trilogy. And after reading the book, I can vouch that it is not just an overconfidence. The story is written nicely, and there are so many elements which are waiting for the future actions as well as backstories. We are eager to explore those parts upon release for sure. While the cover page cannot be the only judging factor for the book it is associated with, it is definitely among the prominent ones. Being a gateway to the virtual world explored within, it makes the first impression of the book, and thus it can influence a remarkable number of purchase and or read decisions. So it is necessary for a book to have an attractive cover page. As you can see in the podcast cover, the cover page of The Protectors of Kavach is really attractive. The cheerful colors used for the cover page are enough to catch a casual browser's attention for sure. While Kavach refers to the body armor, the book cover doesn't show a full body armor. It rather shows a warrior's arm holding a bow, having an arrow planted on it. So you can deduce that you are seeing a part of a faceless warrior in action mode, and what we are seeing are the glimpses of the Kavach in the same. The extended hand of the warrior has the arm protector part of the Kavach visible. Well, the Kavach here refers to the body armor that Karna from Mahabharata was blessed with. The illustration was somewhat believable. The fonts used for the book title and other information goes in sync with the theme. Overall, I like the cover page concept and illustration both. Now let us take a bird's eye view of the book plot. The story follows various tracks, and in each of them, the incidents are happened at different places. Here I am listing some of the prominent timelines and locations. Not all. One is prologue 555 BCE on Om Parvat. One track is 570 BCE Kurukshetra battlefield and Mahant Ashram Kurukshetra. Another track is 600 BCE Mahant Ashram Kurukshetra, and present day tracks Shivgarh in Maharashtra, New Delhi, Sinoli in Uttar Pradesh. These are the prominent places where the things are happening. The Mahabharat or Mahabharata as they pronounce these days, war is just ended and a sage is visiting the battlefield. He was an accomplished sage and was under protection of Lord Indra himself. What he saw in front of his eyes was unbelievable. A Siddha Rakshasa who cannot be overpowered was also finding something important there. The sage has to run away and warn his disciples and fellows to hide the precious thing to a place unknown. And the journey began. In the ashram of a well-respected and spiritually powerful sage, a group of students studied. The current tutor, his son, was under oath to teach only to the future kings. It was the most respected ashram, and all the kings of Saptasindhu region wanted their princes to be educated there. The brightest among them was Aryana. One day, when the Guru has given a tough task to his students, an unknown boy came to visit and seek a place in the ashram as a student. The Guru was reluctant based on his oath. The boy completed the task which none of the students were able to do. He performed some other stuff and eventually created a soft spot in the sage's heart. And upon his insistence, the Guru has accepted him as a disciple, with a hesitation, of course. He sensed something wrong, though he cannot figure it out, and things took its course. In a small hilly town of Maharashtra, a young fellow named Rudra lived with his grandfather. Ravi is his best friend. Rudra's parents are no more. His grandfather, a well-versed, well-respected person, means the world to him. There is a structure named Trishul in the village. Rudra's family is taking care of it since generations. Trishul or Trishula is a mysterious place where the incidents of Mahabharata was engraved and was considered to be there since the time of actual Mahabharata. Rudra has a birthmark and he was destined to play a major role in coming times. He was unaware of it, but his grandfather knew about it and was careful about well-being of Rudra. He keeps him blessed with different auspicious ornaments and sacred threads. Call in the mines around that place and has started working there. Rudra and others are helping them, and in exchange the company has taken responsibility of doing the needful for renovation of Trishula. A Lord Shiva devotee somewhere in Delhi is looking for something and trying all he can to find and get it. What is it? Who he is? And what are his plans? Well, you need to read the book to get your answers and more questions. Over the journey, you come to meet or know about various characters like Saharshi Mahant, Kal Vashisht or Kal, Krishnajit Mahant, Rudra, Ravi, Tanya, Shaurya, Tina, Sakshit, Mirabai, Ganga Mahant, Saras Mahant, Swami Shankaranand, Bhavani, King Aryana, Krishna Shankar, Dambhodbhav, Vikrant Nair, Ira, Adinath, Prakhar Khanna, Kalim Zaidi, Shashwat Mahant, Saras, Pavan Verma, Nandini, Vikramacharya, and others. The fictional story explored in the book is really interesting. The way the author has connected various dots to various characters and incidents found in the ancient Bharatiya, that is Indian, literature are worth praising. The strong characters are a positive aspect of the book. We had seen many stories, mostly written by debutant authors, but seasoned authors also sometimes fell for it. Build the character of the protagonists very effectively, but don't give that much weightage to the antagonist. According to me, when you make the antagonist really strong, the hero appears even stronger. This book is a pleasant exception. Here the author has given enough space to all the important characters, even the sidekicks of the protagonist and antagonists got their due. The way the author introduces us to various characters is really interesting. For example, Mahant, one of the most respected sages of the Saptasindhu, the land of 7 rivers, looked at the massive Himalayan mountain covered with snow. See, how the legendary persona of the character is conveyed to the reader, and at the same time his current location is revealed effectively. And when talking about the abilities of the characters, despite the character belongs to the ancient times, the author uses logical lines like they had the skills to adjust their body temperature as per the climate. Rather than talking about mystical powers, etc., the author has talked about skills and abilities to make the characters more real, and that works in favor of the book, as per my opinion. Here is one more example. See how good the character defining lines are here. A well-educated young man refused multiple job opportunities from leading multiple organizations. Rudra was famous in his circle for jumping in the waterfall. He would go to the right opening of the Trishula and would swim till the left. His childhood friend Ravi believed that he could communicate with the river. This village and the Trishula is my life. I will do whatever it takes to make it better. And the same is true for the antagonist and his team as well. Shaurya was a notorious head of the underground syndicate, a syndicate involved in the research of the Mahabharata. He knew the ancient secret, inherited it from his bloodline. He had a rich knowledge of all the Vedas and Hindu epics. He was one of the rare Siddha-tantric of the world. He aced the Tantra Vidya and Shastra Vidya. Bhavani was a man with skills and an evil mind. And the skilled antagonist is analytical too. Look out for the active magnetic fields and fake nuclear radiations, said Shaurya, handing them two devices. The author is good at explaining surroundings and building scenes. The way he talks about the Mahabharata war, the brutality happened there, and a fictional incident after that, all those are convincing descriptions. Here are a couple of such lines. On a misty night, a man with a flambeous stopped on the grounds of Kurukshetra, the battlefield of the greatest war in Saptasindhu, Mahabharata. The red soil spread over the horizon was believed to be the blood of the great warriors who fought in the battle. Here are a few more interesting lines I like to quote. A young man with yellow angavastram and white dhoti paced through the dense forest towards the ashram. The lights were not working, and the dark lane welcomed him with the flickering lights. The security troops had already taken their rightful places. Even in the prime of devotion, faith, and tenderness, the security was never compromised. The hospital security has done a great job keeping the media personnel out of hospital premises. As you can see, be it the character description, the environment, or the mood in a scene, I found the author is good at writing them all. The author is good at elaborating emotions through words. For example, his eyes were red with anger, and the sky was crying with him. It had turned red with the flurry of thunderstorms. Carl loosened his grip and let gravity do its magic. The way the education system was working on those ancient days and how personally the gurus were taking the responsibility of their respective disciples is elaborated in the book in a very long segment involving the attack at the ashram and its aftermath. Such gurus like to be sure that they choose the right disciples and giving them the knowledge they deserve, help them sharpen their skills, and support them in being powerful to protect the society.
Only such gurus can say the following: I taught you everything except being terrified. I deem it my failure as a guru. And despite that, they often found wrong people got hold of power and knowledge and be part of conversations like, but Gurudev, how Kal can be the dark force? He was also your disciple. The dark always loom in the night when we have limited sight. We spotted him late. His darkness is fierce and chilling than that of a new moon. And of course, they don't try to wash up their hands from their responsibilities, but try to evaluate the situations effectively to find the cause and eventually cure for it. Or at least try to do so. And they are respected for genuine efforts to make the society a better place. Aryana ran his hand on the forehead to absorb the blessings from the soil his Gurudev was standing on. While the following line is written in a different context, it will remind you of the situation we have had faced in not so distant past. The uncertain lockdown was destroying their mental peace. It adds to the contemporariness of the book. To add to this, the author also refers various recent happenings that affirm the historical accuracy of ancient Indian literature, which is referred to as mythology in these modern days. Quoting from the book, a few ancient remains were found from the soil of Sinoli, Uttar Pradesh. It was believed to be as old as 3500 BCE. From the Mahabharata period, it was a huge discovery, and she was presenting the remains, explaining their age and significance. The author is good at analyzing the psyche of an individual or a group and presenting it through words. For example, often people are jealous of one's progress. But society doesn't let you live at peace. They enjoy watching the other house burn and expect the inmates to plead for help. It entertains them. If there is no fire, they will set it on fire and will enjoy. Sad but true reality. Also, the book is not about anything regressive. In fact, it is mentioned in the book itself at many places that the society as a whole needs to keep evolving. Here are a couple of examples. Restructuring is the only way you can keep the structure of society intact. The wheel of time demands new thoughts to keep it moving. With an old set of ideologies, the wheel is bound to stop. If you love reading one-liners with timeless wisdom, you will enjoy reading lines like, "We will get the answers only after we start searching for it." And the movie lovers who like slogans, there are slogans like, "Bole ki fauj, karegi mauj." The author tries showing logic behind various rituals the Bharati people follow since generations. Every Shivalinga on the planet Earth releases heat. It is a symbol of infinite energy, and thus its core is heated. That is why we need to water it regularly. The water is always charged, sometimes not drinkable. But water from the Shivalinga is drinkable. It can cure weakness, that's it. I like the way the culture of respecting all the beings is mentioned in the book. Forgive us, O noble beasts, we are your wrongdoers. Even when referring the story of Nar Narayan, the author mentions their intentions of the greater good. The inseparable duo took birth on the planet Earth for the welfare of mankind. The author is good at reflecting conflicting emotions through simple words like, A scream came, breaking Krishnajit's mantras. He had become a grandfather. And yes, the book in no way supports the ideology of victimhood. Just because someone suffered, they don't deserve respect. One needs to adhere to dharma. It is actually a very deep philosophy, and I am glad that the author has mentioned it in the book. I also found the descriptions of Padmasana or the lotus pose interesting. Its linking with the symbol of infinity is simply brilliant. He was sitting with legs crossed, the right leg over the left, forming the infinity sign. That is what is actually mentioned in the book. If I am allowed to quote only one segment from the book, I would love to go with this brilliant metaphor representing Mahabharat. Mahabharata is nothing but what we are going through in daily life, said Rudra. Every other life is Mahabharat. It is interpreted as the Pandavas are the five senses of our body. Lord Krishna is our brain or thinking power, and Draupadi is our luck. And when Pandavas were playing the game of dice, Krishna jumped in. Neither Lord Krishna nor Draupadi was present at the time. No one in this world can win a game without brain and luck. Simply superb. The book has its own letdowns also. For example, like many other Indian authors, the author also has used the word anyways, which I think is nowadays going to be part of English dictionary for official inclusion. The care could have been taken when writing lines like Shaurya was worshipping Lord Shiva, chanting the Tandav Strotam. Strotam should be Stotram. Also, I don't understand why the word Kavaach is referred to as Kavaach. I guess the author may have some reasons for that, but I don't think it will affect a regular reader's reading experience at the same time. The last chapter, though, may make you raise more questions than the answers you got. You also think of the protagonist could have been stronger at many places, but let us hold our thoughts here as there are yet the parts of the story to come out. Of course, I have omitted many other aspects of the story to avoid spoilers, but I think you must have got a fair idea about the book, various literary aspects of the same, and the attributes of the story from the quotes I have referred to till now. So you can better judge that whether you like such stories and find such quality of writing interesting.
In summary, a simply brilliant imagination. The story has its root in the ancient Indian Bharatiya scriptures and also has elements of robotics and artificial intelligence. In some aspects, it is a science fiction or sci-fi. I loved reading this book and looking forward to elaborate other books in the series upon their release. ThinkerViews rating would be around 8 to 8.5 stars out of 10.
So, have you already read the book? Are you planning to read it? What do you think about this book review? Do you find it helpful in deciding whether to go for the book or not? Please do share your genuine remarks via comments below. If you have enjoyed listening to the review, please hit the like button and do not forget to share it with your friends and other fellows whom you think such reviews interest more. Till we meet with our next podcast, bye bye, take care, namaskar.